Welcome everyone to the channel. I'm Biggie Sweats, and today I'm bringing you the Demonology Warlock guide for Mythic dungeons and raiding. A beginner's guide full of knowledge taken from Wowhead, Subcreation, WoW Method, every sort of guide you could realistically get your hands on, and my own personal experience as I've been playing this up to 400 item level, doing heroic raids, achieving 2k raider IO. This is my experience, how I play. Talents and everything is subject to change on person and by dungeon to dungeon, but I'm going to provide you with an AoE and single target rotation that can be used in raiding and mythic dungeon environments. Now, I just want to say before we get started, I know it's been 2 weeks since we last uploaded a video, but it's been Christmas, New Year, there's been a lot going on, and I really want to take the time to now upload 3 videos a week on a consistent basis, filled with guides and just WoW stuff in general, maybe some shorts here and there about lore and whatsoever. If you have any ideas, then feel free to comment below, or if you have any guides you want to see, feel free to comment that below as well. But let's get straight into this. Before we do, check us out over on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. GMT till around 10 p.m. GMT. Stop by, join in, and hype up all the fun. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now let's immediately start off with how viable is Demonology Warlock this patch. Now, Demonology Warlock is absolutely stomping the numbers as one of the premier and #1 casters this season. It is really strong in the raid with its single target build using Nether Portal and Gul'dan's Ambition. Absolutely slapping that. But then if you have slight AoE or pure AoE, right, they absolutely stomp on that too with Implosion, Demonic Tyrant, Grand Warlock's design. All that good stuff is making us top the meters consistently in a lot of fights. Now, if you're going for a caster, this is one that should be at the top of your list. Even in mythic dungeons with Implosion, and if you set all your build up right and your timings, then you can pull off numbers touching 300, 350k. It is crazy. Their tier set only adds juice and DPS to this. It's nuts. So the first part of the video, as always, is going to be stat priority. Everything I show throughout the video is going to be shown on screen somewhere, so it's easy for you to see and pick up what you need to do. Now, Demonology Warlock stat rotation is going to be item level is king, then down into intellect, then haste as your primary secondary stat, then mastery equals crit and versatility. Haste is going to provide us with increased attack speed or increased spell speed in this regard, so we can blast out a lot of these spells. Warlock can be a very slow casting spec, so the more haste the better. Just remember, there is diminishing returns, so always sim your character. Please go and do that with every new piece of chunky gear you get up. You can even sim your great vault items before you even choose, which is fantastic. If you want a video on that, I've got it on my channel, so just go and check that out. Now, the bread and butter of any spec, and that is our talents. I'm going to be starting with the dungeon talents that you are going to use. Now, these can change depending on week to week. Now, this week is tyrannical, so we might want a bit more single target combined with a little bit less of your AoE. But with the tier set, this is the build that's working, and these are the spells and talents that people are running in these high keys 22s 23s that we might be seeing. Now, I'm going to start with the left side of the tree, this side, which is your Warlock class talents, and then we'll move on to talk about the spec talents after. So first up in row 1, we have Fell Domination, Demonic Circle, and Burning Rush. In row 2, we've got Demon Skin, 2 points. We have Fell Armor, 2 points. In row 3, we've got Curse of Enfeeblement and Mortal Coil. Having this quick stun and bring back health is perfect for these sticky environments you might find yourself in dungeons. Row 4, we are taking Amplify Curse. We are taking Demonic Embrace, Demonic Inspiration, Wrathful Minion, and Demonic Fortitude. In row 5, we are taking Sweet Souls. We are taking Demonic Gateway, as you know, getting around is very difficult as a Warlock unless you want to use Burning Rush all the time, so having this teleport is fantastic. Then in row 6, we are taking Dark Pact, we are taking Dark Accord, and Shadow Fury. And AoE stun in any dungeon environment is fantastic. Then we are going down into row 7, where I am taking Frequent Donor and 2 points into Lifeblood. In row 8, we are taking Fell Synergy and Soul Link. In row 9, we are taking Resolute Barrier, only 1 point into that. We are taking 2 points into Grimoire of Synergy. We are taking 1 point into Profane Bargain, 2 points into Soul Conduit. In the final row, we are taking Inquisitor's Gaze and Soulburn. These are your class talents for dungeons. Next up, we're going to speak about your Demonology Warlock points. We then move on to the left side of the tree. So Demonology spec talent points for Mythic Dungeons. So we are going first, Core Dreadstalkers. Now, if we didn't, there'd be no points in the tree. So we start with Core Dreadstalkers, then into row 2, we go Demon Bolt, we go Dreadlash, and we go Annihilate Training. In row 3, we are taking Demonic Knowledge, we are taking Soul Strike, we are taking Demonic Strength, and From the Shadows. In row 4, we are taking Implosion, because without this, your AoE would be so lackluster, as this is part of your burst and build up for AoE. Then we are taking Shadow's Bite, Carnivorous Stalkers, Fell Steel, and Fell Might. Row 5, we're only taking 1, and that is Grimoire Felguard. Row 6, we are taking Dread Calling. We are taking Demonic Meteor. We are taking Fell Sunder. In row 7, we are taking 2 points into Imp Gang Boss. We are taking 2 points into Ripped Through the Portal. In row 8, we are taking Nether Portal. We are taking Summon Demonic Tyrant and Tauren Armaments. In row 8, we are taking 2 points into Azul's Violation and 2 points into Soulbound Tyrant. In the final row, we are taking Gul'dan's Ambition and Grand Warlock's Design. This is your Mythic Dungeon talents. These are going to carry you through most environments. There is some different builds. You can check out Wild Meta, Subcreation for the specific builds people are running at the highest passes and the highest keys if you like. Also, you could sim your character if you want to play about with talents as such. Now we look at raiding talents. So primary talents that will cover you on most bosses and help you with all of them. There is only a slight few changes, so we will go through them as quickly as we can, but noting the changes as we go through it. So we're going to start with the left side of the tree again, which is your Warlock points. We are going first row, Fell Domination, Demonic Circle, and Burning Rush. We are going 2 points into Demon Skin, 2 points into Fell Armor, 2 points into Fiendish Stride. We are going 1 point into Curse of Enfeeblement in row 3, and 1 point into Mortal Coil. We are going in row 4, Demonic Embrace, Demonic Inspiration, Wrathful Minion, and Demonic Fortitude. In row 5, we are taking Sweet Souls and Demonic Gateway. Row 6, we are taking Dark Pact, we are taking Dark Accord and Shadow Fury. Row 7, we are taking Frequent Donut, 2 points into Lifeboard. Row 8, we are taking Fell Synergy, we are taking Soul Link, and we are taking Teachings of the Black Harvest. Row 9, we are taking Grimoire of Synergy, 2 points. Soul Conduit, 2 points. And we are taking, in the final row, Inquisitor's Gaze and Soulburn. Your left side of the talents don't change really any at all, so just stick with what you had. And then let's talk about the right side, which is where everything's sort of changed up. So, 2 major changes here. We'll note them as we go along. But as always, we start with Core Dreadstalkers in row 1. Row 2 is Demon Bolt, Dreadlash, and Annihilate Training. Row 3 is Demonic Knowledge. And this is where we change from Soul Strike to Summon Vile Fiend to fight for you for 15 seconds. Just a cooldown, whack it on the bars, use it as part of your cooldown rotation. Then we go into Demonic Strength, as it's always really strong to have. Then from the Shadows, we keep Implosion because a lot of fights in the Vault will have some sort of AoE to them, unless you're talking Teros, which is just flat out single target, which you want a talent out of Implosion for anyway. But in row 5, we're going Power Siphon. That's also a new ability. This is great to have when you need to blast a bit more single target into stuff. Then we have Inner Demons, Grimoire Felguard. We're going down into row 7 with Dread Calling and Demonic Meteor. Row 8, we're taking 2 points Imp Gang Boss, 2 points Ripped Through the Portal. Row 9, Nether Portal, Summon Demonic Tyrant, and then Tauren Armaments. Row 10 is Ner'zhul's Violation, 2 points into that and 2 points into Soulbound Tyrant. And we're taking the Expendables this time. In the final row, we are taking Gul'dan's Ambition, and we are taking Grand Warlock's Design. These are your raiding talents. These are going to be good for the Vault. These are going to be good for single target with a little bit of AoE. If you want pure AoE, then I would suggest taking the build that we just spoke about for Mythic Dungeons and using that for like Primal Council and stuff like that. Great talents, some awesome damage to be put out right here. Obviously, play about with them to your choice. There's lots of different stuff you can go. There's even different builds that use Guillotine and all stuff like that. So play about with them, sim them up, and see what works for you. But these are 2 builds that are going to work fantastic no matter what. Next up, we're going to talk about that juicy tier set. Now, Demonology has one of the stronger tier sets with its base 2 set just being a flat-out damage increase to 2 abilities. That is Demon Bolt and Fellstorm, which you use all the time, so having this is just great. And your 4 set, Demon has a chance to make your next Hand of Gul'dan instant and deal 150% more damage. Now, I can't even begin to explain to you how strong that is in an AoE environment. Hand of Gul'dan hitting instantly and a huge 150% increase in damage. your AoE is just going to shoot up exponentially. The tier set is very strong when it comes to AoE. Now let's talk best in slot. Let's start with your trinkets. Your 2 S-tier trinkets are going to be the Horn of Valor from the Halls of Valor and the Whisper Incarnate icon from the Vault of Incarnates. Your 2 A-tier trinkets are Desperate Invoker's Codex from the Vault of Incarnates and the Iosco Vault, which is also from Halls of Valor. You have any combination of these 4, you're going to be doing good damage. Of course, sim them when you get them, but these are the 4 trinkets that you should be aiming for when we're talking about getting best in slot. Now I'm going to bring up rings and weapons from both raids and dungeons that will also do you wonders. So here are 2 rings from the Vault of Incarnates that you should be aiming for, and that is the Seal of Filial Duty from Broodkeeper Deherna and the Seal of Deherna's Choice from Eranog. 2 fantastic rings. If you get them both, your DPS is going to pump because they've got great effects. From the dungeons, for rings, you're going to be aiming for the Unstable Arcane Loot from Azor Vault and the Signet of the Dancing Jade from the Temple of the Jade Serpent. Now let's talk weapons. So weapons are Quake Detecting Seismo Staff from Teros. That is your staff. Main hand and offhand, you want Stormlash as last resort from Razageth and the Scripture of Primal Devotion as your offhand from Kurov Grimtotem. From the dungeon, you're looking at Final Grade from Algothar's Academy, and your main hand, which is from Algothar's Academy as well, the Spellboon Saber, and Sardina's Grisly Visage, which comes from the Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. These are your main items that you want to be aiming for. If you want me to list out every single item that you could be aiming for in dungeons and raids like before, I can do. Just let me know for the next video, and I'll make sure I put a full list up on the screen somewhere. But let's move on to your Sparks of Ingenuity now. So, as you know, Dragonflight puts a massive part onto crafting, so we get these things called Sparks of Ingenuity, which can be turned into really good weapons, necklaces, rings, whatever it is you want. So Demonology Warlock is going to aim for the Illuminating Pillar of the Isles as the weapon. They're going to then go into the Elemental Lariat, which is fantastic because it procs one of your gems that you put in it for more like verse or crit or haste, whatever class you're playing. Then we go into the Signet of Titanic Insight, which is a ring or a piece to fill a lower item level slot. But your main 2 are the weapon and the neck. Get these ASAP and you will pump. Some embellishments as well are the Potion Absorption Inhibitor, Blue Silken Lining, and the Magazine of Healing Darts. These are fantastic to put on your pieces of gear. Now that is it for the best in slot side of things. So let's talk Enchants, Consumables, and what you need to prep for your raiding or mythic dungeons. Now I'm going to show a list of all the enchants up top, but for your weapon, the best enchant is either Sophic Devotion or the Wafting Devotion. These are very expensive still on all realms, especially the gold tier. Well, you say very expensive, depends on your gold amount, but you're talking 70 to 100k for these main enchants. There is cheaper versions, which is the Sophic Writ and the Rafting Writ, so get these if you can't afford the other 2. On the cloak, we're going Homebound Speed. On the chest, we're going Waking Stats. The brace is Devotion of Speed or Eternal Intellect, or the Writ of Speed for a cheaper alternative. Your legs are the Frozen Spell Thread for the most expensive ones, and or the Vibrant Spell Thread if you're looking for a cheaper version. The boots are the Plain Runner's Breeze or the Watcher's Loam, and your rings are Devotion of Haste or Writ of Haste, as it's our primary stat and we want to bring that up. So they are your enchants, again, shown on screen. So follow that for some awesomeness. Or you could sim your stuff. Raidbots has a cool feature where you can sim enchants and whatnot. So it gives you, like, the best things to put on there as well. So, consumables for the files, which are the new flasks. You want File of Elemental Chaos. It is the best option for most classes. If not, you could go the Ice File of Corrupting Rage, but it has a drawback effect, which a lot of these files do have. And then an alternate is File of Static Empowerment, big DPS increase on your primary stat buff. However, you have to remain standing still, so not good if there's a lot of moving around in the fight. Your potions are the Elemental Potion of Ultimate Power, very expensive right now still, so the Elemental Potion of Power, which is the cheaper one, will do you just fine, both for raiding and mythic dungeons. Make sure you have your refreshing healing potions. I don't know how many times these have saved me during mythic raiding or during mythic dungeons. They are fantastic. And then we have the Howling Rune on your weapon. You want the Fated Fortune Cookie or the Timely Demise or Sizzling Seafood Medley if you're not having the Grand Banquet of Kalawak or the Horde of Draconic Delicacies. The best gems are your Keen Esmeralda or the Keen Nalfarite. Or the best option to slot, but still expensive, is the Fierce Unlimited Diamond. These are the things you should be looking for. They will all be listed on the screen for ease, so you can search them up on the auction house. But these are your consumables and enchants that you're going to be rocking for the foreseeable future, at least until Season 2. Now let's talk a little bit about rotations, AoE and single target. We're going to start with AoE. So I'm going to straight up say, make sure you've got your Inquisitor's Gaze popped at the start. This lasts for 1 hour. Just pop it up. It doesn't matter if you die. So we're going to go straight in and try and actually see these targets past these huge, like, Death Knight abominations. But I would say we're going to start off by pre-casting either a Demon Bolt or a Shadow Bolt in this regard, depending on, like, the talent builds that you're going. So we're going to go in. I'm going to hit a Shadow Bolt into another Shadow Bolt, Nether Portal, then Felguard, then Soul Burn into Dreadstalkers. Then we're going to Soul Strike into a Hand of Gul'dan, into a Shadow Bolt, another Hand of Gul'dan. We're going to use Demonic Tyrant right here. Another Hand of Gul'dan, Demonic Strength, Scourge Strike, one last Shadow Bolt, and then we're going to implode right here. And then we're going to do another Hand of Gul'dan. As you can see, we're hitting about 150k, which is awesome. Shadow Bolt, Core Dreadstalkers on CD, Shadow Strike as it comes back up. Shadow Bolt into a Hand of Gul'dan again. Shadow Bolt, and then we're going to Implosion as we've stacked them up. Big damage. 2 proc Demon Bolts. Hand of Gul'dan, and then it's just sort of using stuff on rotation, using your procs, making sure you're casting at least 3 Hand of Gul'dans before we cast another Implosion. And as you can see, we're solidly holding over 100k DPS here on 6 targets. This is, of course, without any Bloodlust or anything like that. Another 3 Hand of Gul'dans into an Implosion. This is just your basic rotation, using everything you've got until your main CDs come back up. So, just on the area rotation, so let's talk about the single target one. We're going to be rolling the different builds, so the raiding style single target build. We're going to be starting with a precast of Power Infusion, Power Siphon down here, because we've got these 2 imps that's going to proc Demon Bolt, allowing it to do more damage and be instant cast. So we're going to start the fight with a proc Demon Bolt into a Shadow Bolt, then into a Nether Portal, then into our Fiend, then into our Vile Fiend right here, then into Dreadstalkers, Hand of Gul'dan, then into a Summon Demonic Tyrant, Hand of Gul'dan again, Demonic Strength, proc Demon Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan, proc Demon Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan, wrong button, and then sort of that's how it repeats out. There is not much change, you're just using stuff on cooldown, about 50-60k burst right there. Just don't hard cast ever, like I keep mispressing here, Demon Bolt. And then as your target gets low, you want to build up all of them imps for a final few buffs of imps when it gets low. Of course, timing 6 or more normally works wonders of the imps. But yeah, I wouldn't really use any imps or Implosion until 10%. And then just whack them all out. Couple Demon Bolts, couple of Hand of Gul'dans, and then whack them out again. Single target rotation, really simple. It's kind of just build up stuff, use your cooldowns, use your procs. Hand of Gul'dans is your main sort of spender. Use your procs of Demon Bolt. You know, keep using these on cooldown, and you'll be sorted. That is your single target rotation. Very, very simple considering the class. Implosion doesn't really play much into it, but it can do wonders at the end of a fight, or if it needs to be used for any adds during the phases of any bosses that you might be doing. And that is it for the Demonology Warlock guide. My suggestion, dive right in with this class. It's changed a lot since Shadowlands, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really didn't like the way it played in Shadowlands because I played a lot of Destruction, and now we're back with this, and it's so much fun. It's so good to see them high numbers, and it's so good to just throw them Implosions out. It's such a satisfying class to play. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope I've been able to pass on some knowledge to you to help maybe you perform better or prep better for your Mythic dungeons and raids. But I've been Biggie Sweats. Make sure you check us out over on twitch.tv, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. GMT, all the way until 10 p.m. GMT. We're live all day, so come and join the fun. We do giveaways, and we just have some keys and raids we do with all viewers and stuff like that. It's super fun, so I hope to see you there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment what you want to see next. Until next time, peace.